Fire it off and we'll try this again here. The dyno is ready to go, so we're going to just rapid fire through this. So we're going to go from 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30. We'll have to see how the engine responds. Usually on the low cam by around 30 to 35 degrees. It doesn't really gain any power, probably loses, but we'll have to see what goes on. We'll build our cam composite blend and then, again, fuel table, spark timing. So we're just going to try to rapid fire through this the best we can. So you should hopefully understand what we're looking for here and what we're doing as we're making our variable cam target changes. We should see a horsepower and torque increase. If we do, we see the O2 correction adding fuel. If we find we're losing power and torque, it's going to go the opposite direction and remove fuel. We're going to watch that as a guidance. We're going to see what that shows in the log, get a good idea what's going on. We'll back it up with the dyno screen. So hopefully it makes sense. All right, let's go in here. Let's get back into our fuel table, make sure it's out of gear. I'm going to go power cycle it down, give it a second, power it up, give it a second. Let's see if it's going to fire clean now. So it fires okay right there. It wasn't awful. All right, let's let the wideband come online, and then what it does, we'll begin and do another pull. All right, O2 is reading right here, so let me throw my headphones on and let's try this. Stop our log. I actually didn't initiate that data log, so hopefully the onboard logging caught everything. It should. It was functioning before, so we should find that log. It's going to be correct. So we've captured the data log. Now, I am not going to take a look at the dyno screen yet. What I'm going to do is purely take a look at the data, and then we'll see what's going on with the O2 correction. And then we'll kind of get an idea, taking a guess, as to what the engine is doing in terms of our power output. And then we'll look at our dyno graph and do a comparison between the two pulls to see what changes happened and if it's backing up what we see from the log, and it should. So I'll go in here, let's just jump right into our logger software. And I'm gonna go to download, and we have our log number 2 here. Let's click OK. And allow that to download the log. Give that a second. Okay, so we can see the log has been downloaded. So let's go ahead and just pan across and take a look in our area right here. So this is gonna be our red or green line is going to be our RPM band. We can see what's going to happen. Now, what I'm looking for here is if the O2 correction is showing that it's adding some more fuel. This is going to give us confirmation, if it's showing that it's adding fuel in certain RPM ranges, that we've gained torque and power in those specific RPM ranges. So looking here at 1700 RPM, we're adding a considerable amount more fuel at that low engine speed. So it's probably gained right there. Likewise, if we look here, it's adding a considerable amount more fuel, about 2600. So I'd say we've probably gained there. Going up a little bit higher yet, 3500, we're adding some fuel, it's probably gained there. Going up a little bit higher yet. Here, 4500, it's adding just a little bit in there, so it's probably gaining at 45. Let's take a look here at something like 55, adding some fuel, probably gaining at 5500. And if we go to the very high engine speed, here, right around 6800, 6500, it's not really doing anything here in terms of the correction. And we're a little bit richer than the target. I would say it might have lost a little bit on the top end, the very, very top end. So if I had to guess here, it probably gained pretty heavily at the low and mid RPM, but then on the top end, it was either a break even or it lost a little bit of power. Purely taking a look at what that O2 correction was doing. Now, I am not going to go in and touch up the main fuel table. I'm going to leave the main fuel table alone. We're going to go through again all of our changes with the variable cam control, watching what this O2 correction is doing pull to pull, get an idea where we're at, and then we'll do our final blend and then touch up the main fuel table. Now, I do want to make sure that the variable cam is doing what I'd expect. So let's look here at the position, and let's look here at our target. So we want to see that the position is holding to the target, and we can find here the two lines. There's a green and a brown line, which is our lower lines right here. They are laying right on top of each other. So if we're commanding 10, we're getting exactly 10. So that looks perfect in terms of the control. So we're good there. So it's doing what we'd expect, and we know that it's leaner. So now let's take a look at our dyno graph, and let's compare it against our last run to get a feel for if what we're finding in the data is backing up what we see actually measured at the engine, and it should. So this would be the situation. You don't have a chassis dyno, you're doing your pulls, you're calibrating, you're adjusting the variable cam timing. Do you gain power or not? Obviously, look looking at or using your butt dyno isn't a good indication. It's going to be taking a look at your O2 data and your fueling, what's going on with that, so we can get a pretty good feel for it. So let's look at our dyno graph. The dyno is showing here 134 horsepower, 127 torque. So the torque has increased a good chunk. Let's go in here and go to save run, and I'll call this baseline, and actually we'll call this VTC 10, so we know specifically here. And we're going to flip over to the analyze screen. The analyze screen allows us to take a look at what's going on here. Now, we're going to get rid of the, let's see here. We have 2 baseline runs. We're going to find that the blue line is not our last runs. It's from another dyno session I had with the vehicle. So looking here, the yellow is our last pull. That's at 10 degree. The red is our 0. Notice we're beating it all the way here up to about 63, 6,500. And then the red, which is the 0, takes over right there. So what we're finding is the O2 data is backing up what we're seeing in terms of the torque output and the power output out of the engine. We see that there's a considerable gain all the way up to the high engine speed, going from 0 to 10. So without even taking a look at the dyno, I would know, based on what that O2 data is showing, that we are gaining power. All right, let's go in, not make any changes, but update the variable cam target to 20 degree now and see what's going to happen. Let's jump in here and let's go ahead back into our variable cam table. So let's go to our target table and let's change all the values to 20. Now what I'd expect if I put all the values at 20 is that we're probably going to gain mid and low RPM, and we're probably going to lose.
Thanks for checking out our teaser clip. If you want to see the rest of this video and more than 500 hours of current EFI training we have to offer, make sure you click right here. If you want to go and check out more teaser clips from this training course, click here, and you don't want to miss any of the videos we're going to be releasing on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.